We are obviously hopefully live now, as you can see, going for the split screen of the chat and also my desk. Hopefully it's coming through all right. I'm trying to keep an eye on things like the CPU and making sure that everything is in order. But I just, oh, let's not have that come up everywhere. Don't know why that always does that. There we go. All right. So, one more click to make and then I'm good to go. Okay, so obviously I've got the live chat open up on the right hand side so you guys can see and I can interact with you, and in the future you can see what I'm talking about when I reference the chat. But today we're just going to be doing some decal work, nothing super exciting I'm afraid, but I just felt like I needed a bit of me time, and I wanted to just do something a bit different, so out came the live stream, and hopefully you guys will find it alright. Obviously, like I said, I've been doing a few more than usual lately, but that's basically because I find them sort of vaguely therapeutic. It's quite nice just doing something a little productive, a little bit different. And like I said, it's all transfers today, all decal work on the word bearers. I was going to have them be sort of a freehand project, but I decided they were a bit big for that. And with the change in my list ideas and what I wanted to do with those, it would have been a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest with you. Freehanding like 60 dudes. So, in order to avoid that, I've gone with transfers. I will just go through them one by one. I actually can use the back of this book again because slightly less abrasive sound in my ears. So yes, like I said, that's what I'm working on today. I would, if you are watching, I'd love to hear what you guys are up to today. If you could pop that in the chat, that'd be cool. Hopefully the visual and audio quality is okay. I'm not having to use Skype again, so hopefully that's a good thing, because for some reason Skype, my computer just can't do Skype and stream at the same time. Oh, come on, there we go. There we go. So this is the Humbrol decal fix, which I just used to sort of do the last sort of glue down, if you like, of the decals I use. I don't use anything other than water for the softening, because I was using the decal fix because supposedly it does both softening and fixing of decals. However, it doesn't at the end of the day. What it does is strip paint if you put it on too long, and so I've had to make the odd amendment here and there where I didn't really want to be doing it. So I'll pop a little more water in. There we go. See what we can't get done. So this one will just be a short one. Like I said, I just wanted to I don't know, get myself a bit of headspace and do a bit of hobbying, and I find these live streams very, very therapeutic in that respect. For some reason, I don't know, it's just nice. It's nice sharing the hobby in a rather informal manner instead of an organised video as such. And hopefully you guys enjoy them as well. This will be the second one. Well, it'll be technically the first one this week, but I probably won't do another one this week because I'm moving back into university on Friday, which will be lovely. I'm very excited. Got the drive up there, dropping up. I'm hopefully to leave a few things here and take a few. Ask my parents to take a few things back, because it's kind of the process of moving out this year, as I'm moving house next year, to live on my own for some of it, and possibly even with Amy for bits of it as well. All exciting stuff. But yeah, for that, to be able to do that, I actually need to move out of my house in the first place. Right, let's just leave it a bit longer and make sure the stream is working properly. Okay, it certainly is. I'm not expecting. I haven't put a thing out anywhere actually. That's a good point. Should I? Probably should, I suppose. That's definitely not the title. All right. See if anyone clicks on the link whilst I wait for the decal to soften a little. Oh, tweet's been posted. Lovely jubbly. So, what have I got coming up this week then? I suppose that's always a nice place to start. Well, like I said, I'm moving back to university, which is always exciting. But I got exams, which is less so. And yeah, so I've got a couple of busy days, I suppose, coming up, which have to be done. Like the packing and then lots of revision. I've got to get a lot of revision done because, you know, exams are a thing. Well, I don't really want them to be, but they are. And I better be prepared for them, as you know, second year starts to count a lot more. And I've had a decent second year so far. Actually, I had a really nice result come back yesterday for a coursework, so I was really pleased with that, and it was better than I thought it was going to be, which is always a positive thing. You know, always a nice little surprise when you get that going. But oh, come on. Got to say, although I preferred putting a decal onto freehanding in some respects, I do find it to be a pain sometimes, especially the little dimples it leaves to begin with, and then you got to work on those, and I don't know. Small complaint really, because I do get it fixed in the end, and it is all fine normally. Just tack that down. Work my way through a unit of 10, as I have been for the Word Bearer Tacticals. Fun. Ah, hello, Frost and Fists. Haven't seen you on a live stream in a while. I presume that's normally the time difference. I normally do it quite early in the day, so you're probably all in bed. Nice to see you watching. I suppose it's what, middle of the day there at the moment, 6-7 hours difference often. So I hope you're having a nice morning / afternoon / you know, that kind of time of day. How are you getting on with your stuff? Well, I presume it's Mythos, as he's normally the one watching live streams, but it could be Freak either way. And of course, if you're watching this retrospectively and you haven't subbed to Frost and Fist, you probably should, because they're pretty awesome dudes. You know, in my opinion, they're some of the nicer personalities on YouTube in the community. It's about 10 a.m. Ooh, 10 a.m. Actually, to be fair, I've been up pretty early lately. I went to the dentist's today and yesterday. I went yesterday to have a checkup, and I went today to see the hygienist to have a blast of all my teethy bits. And they're feeling the smoothest they've ever felt, actually, which is really nice. And I don't know, put a smile on my face, which is always pleasant. You're more than welcome. I've got to say, I'm enjoying the split screen thing at the moment as well, where you can sort of see what people are saying in the chats, because it means I can respond to the chats without having to be overly descriptive. Sometimes before I was having to sort of say who it was and the context, whereas now, as you're watching along, once it's been recorded as opposed to when I'm streaming it, you have that opportunity just to catch up as if you were there, which I think is a good thing. I think it's vaguely beneficial. Oh dear, let's get the tweezers. I mean, you will be able to see I am a total transfer novice. I've only done my first one like a month ago, not even, in fact, less than that, and it shows. It definitely shows. Sounds like fun. You're trying to work after staying up late working on orcs for a client. Ah, that'll be Mythos, I believe, as he does commission work. But working on orcs, it's a sleepy sense of progress, yeah. I presume when you say you're doing work, that is not hobby related, and that is why you are on YouTube. Because that's the best kind of work, in my opinion. The kind that you can do without having to really 100% dedicate your attention to it. I like that kind of work the most. Just rest that in place. Okay, just a couple of novelty shoulder pads here, so I can't actually put the Word Bearer logo on them, but I do put the Serrated Suns one on the other side, and that looks alright in the end. Okay, working my way through. In terms of videos this week, I've recorded a couple today. Actually, I recorded them yesterday, but I'm editing them at the moment. I have the tutorial completely edited for this Sunday, so you'll be able to see the Cruise Carnivore tutorial this Sunday. I still have to, and that is probably today's, well, this evening's, if not this afternoon's job, still have to edit the story time together for the second part of the campaign of Pride of the Legion, which is rather exciting, and I definitely have to do that. And I should really start thinking about making a start on the battle report side of things, because they take a long time. Like, I'm talking like three hours was the last one, I think, to watch, edit, trim all the clips and put them in order and put some music overlays and stuff like that. So I'd rather make a start on that before it's sort of due, if you know what I mean. What other stuff have I got for this weekend? Well, we've got to catch up with Callum, the first one in a while. Obviously, I've been doing these live streams, so you kind of caught up with a lot of the stuff I'm working on. But a more organised catch up with Callum, if you will, with a few extra bits and bobs, and sort of more talking about the direction of the channel and so forth. And I've also done a hobby philosophy video, which will probably be out next week, because I still need to edit it, but it's on 30k and 40k, and sort of my preferences towards those, and between them, if you like. So that's pretty cool. I enjoyed that, obviously. Oh, it would appear video output is low. That's always great news. Can't think of anything better, actually, than a low video output. Hooray! Hopefully it keeps plugging away. I'll actually leave that on. I think it's because my computer's actually not capable of telling the time sometimes. Oh, and we're back to a decent output. So that'll probably yo-yo for the next, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. However long I stay here, I suppose. But yes, as I was saying, what was I getting at there? There was a video I was putting together. Yes, the hobby philosophy between 30k and 40k. So that should be fun. I talk a bit about, you know, preferences, and I mean, obviously with upcoming 8th edition, that'll be interesting, and it'll reset. Sort of, well, I'll have to reconsider my thoughts, and I did include those of that idea in my video, my hobby philosophy video, because obviously with 8th edition I'm probably on pause for most 40k stuff until that sort of really rolls out good and proper. Oh god, I'm having a nightmare here. So until it rolls out, sort of almost gets released, I'll probably be more 30k centric than I am 40k, purely because it's something stable to work on at the moment. I don't want to dive into anything too 40k-y or 40k like if I don't really know what's going to happen. You know, there is that that hobby element where I do want to know what is going on, so I know what to buy or not buy or things like that. So 40k, while it's not strictly on pause because I'm still interested, I'm still going to be keeping up. In terms of hobby time, it is going to be somewhat limited. Okay. Nope. Down. Well, that's gone too far the other way. Organising transfers, so much fun. Oh, come on, you silly sausage. Let's just, do you know what? Let's work a little decal fix into it. See how it likes it then. That'll do for now. Excuse me. Right, yes. I'm gonna get my train of thought back now because I lose it very quickly. What else has gone on? So in my personal life, I suppose I've had a haircut. Um, it's much shorter, as you'll see in these videos that I have edited and for this week and next. And when I say much shorter, I mean it's it's quite obvious that I've had a haircut. But you know, I'm not quite Samson. I do have a little bit of strength left without my hair, and I do intend to sort of continue to function without it. And in fact, I quite like it. It makes me look a lot more employable and a lot less like a bit of a bum, so that'd be nice. In terms of future projects, this weekend I'm seeing Mike, as I mentioned in the last live stream, and with that, of course, we'll be purchasing stuff. The student loan drops in a few days. I'll be picking up some Death Watch, and I'll be doing a full log on that one. So from all the way from building straight through to a finished article, because it is a hobby project more than an army project, which is partly why I wanted to get these transfers done now, because I did want to have sort of that dedicated time I could spend on the Death Watch kill team and such. And yeah, I think I needed it at the end of the day. I needed to get this out of the way so I can go into a hobby project again instead of an army project, which will be nice. And Frost and Fist there has said a new haircut, awesome. Yes, it's very short. The lady actually was sort of she joked about giving me a grade 2 cut all over, and I said it's funny you should say that. I haven't actually had clippers all over, don't worry. I'm not quite going that far back, but it is quite a short haircut in comparison to what you're used to seeing. Sweet, I love Death Watch. Yes, so do I, and like I said, it's part of this Heroes of the Imperium list idea that I'm coming up with. I say list idea, it's more of a hobby idea, where I take characters from books and we go from there. And so it will be Watch Captain Uriel Ventress, who is the fourth captain of the captain of the 4th company of the Ultramarines. Oh dear, had a nightmare there. And yeah, I just really liked him as his watch captain version, if you like, the way he acts and how well he kills the queen ship of a splinter of High Fleet Kraken. So that is pretty good by me. I mean, that's not a mean feat. So hopefully I'll be picking him up, and a small retinue of dudes he takes into the belly of the beast with him, and we can go from there, which should be ever so exciting, of course. And you'll get to see, like I said, step by step. I'll do the weapons loadouts from the book, and every sort of update I'm hoping I can sort of weasel in a little bit of fluff, because you know me, I love a nice bit of story just to supplement whatever I'm working on, and there is no sort of better time to be doing it than in that kind of build log where I'm literally basing it off of a book. What have you been working on for yourself there, Frost and Fists? I am always interested. Obviously the Space Wolves are a mighty collection already, but if there's anything new going on for you as opposed to just stuff you commission, and of course all your clients, I like hearing about what other people are painting. Are you enjoying the orcs? I myself, Harry and I have been talking about what armies we're going to do for 8th edition, and I have said Speed Freaks is likely the way I'm going to go with, sort of biker orcs, but I don't know yet. That's sort of a preliminary idea. It's very cost dependent, as is sort of everything, really. But I mean, specifically with 8th edition, I don't want to be dropping a whole load of money, but I would like a new little project to work on. And of course, with the release of 8th edition, as I have literally no idea, and as no one does except the people who work at Games Workshop, exactly what it's going to be like, I didn't want to sort of jump in with a big monetary sort of leap, if you will, and I wanted to not necessarily hit the ground running as such, but maybe hit the ground walking, taking a nice evening stroll, shall we say. Oh. I have a long way to go with learning how to use these. I mean, no, I'm totally pro, and can't you tell? Isn't it obvious how good I am at laying down decals? Apart from, those times where I'm just obviously well out of my depth. You have to Picked up Celestine for fun and some custom wolf helmets and pauldrons to eventually update my wolves. Ah, lovely. Yep, Celestine looks like a really cool model. Harry's got them as well, which is cool. And I think he's working on Celestine at some point over the summer, as he's built most of magnetised the back, the wings and everything. Thomas asked what I'm painting. I'm actually just laying down transfers on my word bearers, so they are finished, and they have been given an initial soft varnish, if you like, just a one coat of matte varnish, and now I'm popping on some transfers, and then I'll be doing 2 coats of thin matte varnish just to finish them off when they're done. So that's the first. Well, I'll pop this guy to one side. I'll do them in 2 lots of 4. High CPU usage detected. See, now you can see, because I'm just screenshotting half my screen, you can see what I mean by all that sort of savage amounts of CPU usage that I just cannot manage with my computer. But yeah, like I said, just doing transfers at the moment for my my word bearers. Part of the things I needed to get done really before I crack on with the Death Watch, as I was saying. Sorry for the giant camera full of hand there. You got spoilt on Forge World decals. They're nice and sturdy, easy to use. When I do regular decals, I'm frustrated all over again. Yes, I've seen how delightful they are. I myself do not have any. I've seen Mike from Crew Lucilicis. He has many a decal, some of which from Forge World, and yes, they look like an absolute joy to put together. These ones, however, I am pretty crap at doing, as you can see. However, this decal fix is hopefully just going to help me out a little bit. Oh, let's maybe mute that, shall we? There we go. I mean, in all fairness, I've had some relative success with a couple of things I've been doing lately for decal work. I have been working on some of the other. Well, I've already done 10 chaps, and they were fine. Like I say, they were fine. They were still a bit of a pain in the proverbial, but they got done. But what I've also done, the 5 Terminators, they were a breeze. They took no time at all. Really flat surfaces, because the cataphracti armour, the shoulder plates are nice and are effectively flat, and it was a joy to do, really. Oh, careful. And what else have I done with decal wise? Oh yes, that's right, I did a Primus Medicae. So you may have remembered I put together basically from a spare Narthecium and a spare body and stuff I had from Harry's lot. I put together a Primus Medicae, but I gave him a bunch of transfers just to sort of separate him from the rest, because I do plan on getting a couple of apothecaries, the set of 2, the Mark II and Mark IV ones that have come out from Forge World, and like I said, I do plan on doing those too, so it's very likely that I'll need something to separate my Primus Medicae from them, and I think a little extra white and a few more decals should do the trick. In terms of actual stuff that I have been painting, just to answer what Thomas asked in a more abstract manner, perhaps, as I'm not painting now, but stuff I have been. I've finished the Ashen Circle. They were matte varnished this morning, which was good, and so all that leaves me with for the word bearers is just these decals. That's all I've got to do left. I've finished everything I have word bearer wise, but I have 5 more Ashen Circle on the way, which is super exciting. So I can run a unit of 10 of them, and obviously that'll be fun. And then future future word bearers purchases have been planned in my head. It's just a case of setting aside the money to do so, and basically ordering it and so forth, which is brilliant, which is really, really exciting, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I can say right now I'm hoping to get the Erebus Corphoron character series stuff. I would like Zardu Layak and his Blade Slaves at some point, and 10 Gal Vorbak are on the list, but that's sort of a future purchase. There are immediate ones first. Hello Green Stuff Games, nice to see you again. Picking up a little bit in the live stream, which is lovely to see. 4 of you watching, which is the usual for these kind of little chit chats that we have. I did say I'd probably do you paint/play Age of Sigmar. I do. I have been slogging my way through the Spire of Dawn set, and I say slogging because normally it wouldn't be such a big problem, but believe it or not, I've had an extra 20 Lothran Sea Guard, or the Spire Guard as they're called now, I believe, So I was trying to batch out all 30 at once. I don't have them with me at home, they're at uni, so I will be working on those again shortly. If you go back in the archives of my videos, you'll see a speed painting Swordmasters video, and I basically just show you the quick paint scheme I'm doing for my army, because that's something I just wanted to get done, and I wanted to see how I could make elves a speed paint job, because really elves are normally a bit fancy and a bit edge highlighty, smooth surfaces, and I wanted to try and, you know, like I said, speed paint it really, because I didn't want to be sat on 30 Spire Guard forever. You know, they're quite a chore. They're basically just spearmen with bows, and yeah, I wasn't really fancying sort of spending hours on them. However, for future Age of Sigmar ideas, Harry and I have been talking, and I'd really like to do a Slaves to Darkness, sort of Warriors of Chaos based army, and I have been working on a couple of cool ideas in my head for paint schemes, like a really deep turquoise. It would be markless, to be honest with you, but it would be at least vaguely interesting, I suppose. And that set killed you. Yeah, I mean, Harry did the Skaven in a sitting. In fact, if you go back to the videos, as I was saying again, Harry speed painted Skaven tutorials out there, and it's really nice actually. He did a really good job, and especially as he got it done so quickly. It was pretty. He did the entire army in a single afternoon, which was pretty ridiculous. When you think about it, you know, an entire army in an afternoon is good going. Me, on the other hand, I have the elves, and therefore I will be painting a little bit longer than he will be. Just a bit, but hopefully we'll be getting some games in at some point, and I'd like to. I'm really excited by the print on a Griffin model. I think he's absolutely beautiful, and when I do get around to him, I will be cherishing that one. But in the meantime, it's kind of I'm stuck getting through that sort of crap. Thomas has just returned to the UK after 5 months in the Falkland Islands. Goodness gracious! You were hoping to return to a new release of Elves, but got the Caradron Overlords instead. Seems a bit 40k for my liking. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The Caradron Overlords, not my cup of tea. Was super excited by the prospect of space pirate dwarves, or like piratey flying pirate dwarves, but you know, they kind of just don't tick the boxes in terms of aesthetics for me. Oh, sugar! Just throw my thing around there, which is a shame. And I would like to see some new wood elves personally, because I love the wood elf aesthetic. I love the sneaky tree elves. However, I did part ways with the small collection I had because it wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I don't really want to get into them until they have been updated. And whether that happens or not it's entirely down to GW, obviously. But if they're not given a big update, I doubt I'll be throwing myself into them in the way I really want to. But yeah, I would say that the wood elves are my favoured over the sort of highborn stuff, but I still like the highborn stuff as well. In fact, all of it. I'm not keen on dark elves or whatever they are now. They don't appeal to me so much. It's that kind of the witches of 40k stuff. I don't like those either. It's that sort of over-sexualized posing's not my jam. But I do really enjoy the highborn and the wood elf stuff. So I'll probably do some kind of combined order force in the future. It's just a case of me sitting down and batching through these freaking crappy. They're not crappy. They're nice actually, but they're all the one mold stuff. So it's just not a lot of inspiring things happening right there. Green Stuff Games is loving painting his Arcanaut company. They're just the standard dudes, aren't they? They look like they're good to paint. They're just not what I would invest my money in. That's all. But seeing the Duncan painting tutorial on Warhammer TV was pretty cool. He seemed to do a nice enough job with them. Okay, on to the last two for this side of the shoulder pad. Once this is done, I'll wait a minute, let it dry, decal fix. That's what they say in the Humbrol painting tutorials. It's very funny. Let the fix solution dry on there, here. Have a wee organise and a chit chat, and then I'll probably call it a day in 10-15 minutes. But like I say, this is a nice little short way of me doing a bit of hobbying for you guys, and also a little time for me, which is always appreciated. Let's see, softened appropriately. What else was released with the Caradron Overlords? Do you know? I haven't really paid attention to it because after I saw that initial release, I was not sort of. I basically knew I wasn't going to buy them, so I haven't really read up on much of what they have released on them, other than the dudes and the spaceships or the flying pirate ships. The moustache gun. I haven't seen that. I know there's a chap who wears a funny top hat. Again, not sure the battlefield is really a top hat kind of centric area. Oh, look at that. We've had another notification on high CPU usage. You'd almost think that would be a regular problem for me. But obviously just today. Never happens any other time. Apart from, all the other times. It's definitely not cheating, just using your hand. Yeah, the guy with the top hat. I'm sure you could probably do a cool conversion just to sort of have a similar enough looking model, but avoiding the top hat moustache gun combination. I'm sure it's doable. I'm sure that there are many people who will be going for that sort of alternative, maybe some cool custom models coming out of that. Which is something I really like about Age of Sigmar. It seems to be a little more laissez-faire with customization side of things. Like Harry and I made some cool, like way back, we did a battle report which was straight out the box. Not the starter set either. It was Wood Elves and Warriors of Chaos, or Slaves to the Darkness, or whatever you want to call them. And we basically just bought a box each from Games Workshop, and we had a game. We made some cool separate characters for ourselves, and away we went. And I'd like to do that with the Warriors of Chaos box when I get hold of them for my dark turquoise. I mean, have I got the highlight colour to hand? Yes, I do. It's just down here in my box of tricks. Let me give it a wee shake, just so you can see what I'm talking about as my highest highlight. So this light turquoise here, this kind of semi-light, I suppose that would be the colour-ish, but it's this light turquoise. That is the highest highlights on this Warriors of Chaos thing I'm going to go for. It's going to be a really deep turquoise, which I'm kind of excited by. Kind of like a sea blue, if you will. But not specifically Zinchi or anything like that. I just like the colours. I thought it'd be an interesting painting project. And now that I've got a couple of playable armies in game systems, painting projects are likely to be the way I'm going for a little bit, just while I take a breather from building up big armies. And then I'll probably have a project for 8th edition or after the second release of General's Handbook, where I'll just go all in on an army. That or 30k Dark Angels if they are released before the end of the year. Because they're my army, they're my spirit army, if you like. Super sneaky and stubborn, and they don't play well with others, and I don't know, I just feel like it resonates well with me. Oh, let's grab a little more water. Oh wow, that's bad. A cloud just went over the sun. I'm relying on the sun's light at the moment to paint my stuff or to do these transfers. And a cloud just got in the way of my window. So I suddenly went dark for a moment. Hey, that one went on alright. Only took me freaking 8 of the lot. And even then, it's still not straight. Man, this is somewhat infuriating. Oh well, I'll get over it. Tack it down. And let those sort of dry for a bit. Wash out the paintbrush. But yes, I wonder if I can I should be able to reach to show you the stuff. You've heard rumours about a new 40k rules release. Yep, that's coming in the middle of June. So I've heard from semi-reliable sources, and that will be really interesting. I think, to be honest with you, I think it will provide us with something a little extra, sort of that we needed in 40k, which will be a little less, ironically, and a lot more streamlined with any luck, because I'm kind of tired of having to carry around a library to play 40k. What else? Shall I get out the Primus Medicae one I did? It's on the next level. I should have probably done a review of this case actually, because it was quite cheap and it was an absolute win. Let's see. I think this is the fella here. There he is. Right, I'll just grab, just while a couple of things dry, I thought I'd show you some models that I've recently finished the decals for. Hopefully you can still hear me all right. I'm wearing a mic that's pretty much attached to my neck, so it should be still working even though I'm facing away. Well, they are definitely streamlining. I mean, that one's been all but confirmed at this point of the day, if you like, of the day. What am I on about? You know, at this stage, it's all but confirmed. But I'm very, very much looking forward to it. And I do know it is going to be more simple, and that is order of the day, in my opinion, from Games Workshop, and it should be, because I'm fed up of complicated gaming systems, and really simplicity is kind of winning it for me at the moment. And part of the reason I like 30k is because it is more streamlined. So let's see how many we need of these to just bump him up and then flip it. Stick him in there. You'll have to bear with while I just change the zoomage on. That was a very professional term there. I changed the zoom and focus points. I've got a very funny piece of kit. It really doesn't. Let's just. Okay. Trying to focus this without going crazy. You are going to see some of the software I use as it momentarily covers up the chat, and I focus on the miniature. There we go. Right. Oh, covered in water. Lovely. 40k right now hurts my brain. Yeah, me too. So here you can see, oh, hello, that wasn't meant to move. Here you can see the transfer work I've done already on this Sergeant model here. That is obviously the chapter marking of the Serrated Suns. He's been matte varnished. There is the Word Bearers logo. So I think what it does is it just adds a little something extra, something a little more visually exciting, and that's what I'm going for with the rest of these guys, but I'm kind of waiting for that initial water to dry before I go in with the decal fix. And then as for my Primus Medicae, I finished him up, and he's had a couple of extra runes. So here's some Caucasian runes. And sorry, I was getting distracted by the chat. Give me a second. Yeah, so these are the runes. There's his backpack with a bit of gold, because the gold means he's important. And there's something on the leg down there you can just see over here. Whoop. And some writing on the knee and the arm. So yeah, that's basically what I've done so far, and that's what I'm working towards with the rest of them. Now that being said, I can close this autofocus stuff. And would you like to say before exiting? No, I would not. And now I can move all this out of the way, and I can answer the questions that have been put in the chat that I am eager to answer. Okay. Frost and Fist asks, as someone who doesn't know, could you explain to me how 30k is streamlined? My understanding is that it's based off 7th edition rules. Now, yes, it is 100% based off 7th edition rules, and it is basically just 7th edition rules. The way in which it's streamlined, I talk about it, well, I'm going to talk about it in a greater detail in a video I have coming up next week, in my, hobby philosophy video on why 30k is quicker and easier and more fun than 40k. And the simple reason is, everything anyone really needs to know is either in this book, the Legion Astartes Age of Darkness Army List, or in this book, Legion Astartes Legion Book. It's 2 books, and that covers you for all of the 13, 14 legions that have been released. You only need 2 books, and so you're not constantly referring to other things. There's less D-weaponry, so you don't need to know so many other special rules. And everything that does have a special rule, it is mentioned right next to them in that book. Now, that means there's less sort of constant references to universal special rules that are maybe a bit abused sometimes in games. And what you'll find when you're playing a game of 30k is you look at the books less because there's less to know. And when you do need to go and look at the books, you only need them between you. You know, you don't need to be bringing one each, because at the end of the day, if you're Legion versus Legion, you both need a copy of those books. So really, you only need one copy. Obviously, it's better to take your own in games, but what I'm saying is, each of you doesn't need to bring a small library with you. Instead, between you, you only need 2 books, and obviously the 7th ed rulebook. And when you really break 7th ed core rules down, they're not that complicated. It's only when you start adding the special rules in and the special stuff in that it becomes unnecessarily dense in terms of a game. So that's why I think 30k is more streamlined. It's just a quicker game because there's less books and it's got less gubbins, less ways you can try and trip up your opponent. Everything is accessible. I do live in Wales, yes, and I have been to Firestorm 2 or 3 times myself. Once to play, it was a really good laugh. I went with Mike from Crura Angelo Silicis, and we had a really nice time. Really enjoyed it actually. I took my word bearers for their first game actually, and had a blast. Like I said, I really enjoyed just having those 2 books. That was a real pleasant experience for me. Not having to carry around, like I said, a small library. And Mike brought his Blood Angels. It was a big 2,500 point game, and it was a lot of fun at the end of the day. I've also been there to pick up some TT Combat terrain more recently, and I probably will be going there at some point soon. Have you been yourself, Green Stuff Games? Because as far as I can remember, you were also Wales bound, so to speak, and it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are. Honestly, it's the best gaming shop I've been into, size-wise and gaming table-wise. It's definitely got the biggest, maybe a gaming area per se of the hobby stores nearby. The square footage, if you look at number of tables, sort of above and beyond what I'm used to seeing, that is for sure, of any ones I've seen on YouTube and such. And it's got a good store at the end of the day. 10% off your Games Workshop stuff, 10% off your TT Combat, and other similar bits and bobs. So yeah, I think it's a great store, and I would like to go more often. Without trying to get there. Hopefully everything's still working on the old PC. Oh, it is? Oh my goodness, it is. And that would have gone really blank for a second there because it's recording a half a screen. I'll probably go on for another 10 minutes. So if you've got any other questions you want to ask me while I just finish off these guys, feel free to pop them in the chat, because we'll do these last 10 minutes as a bit of Q&A, if you like, just at the end of this live stream. Just to something a little bit different. Let's give it a go. Might even try it as a more organised form in the future. So if you just pop any questions you have for me down below, that would be cool. As I apply another coat of this Decal Fix in order to try and really get this stuff to stay in place. You really liked it there. You also got a lot of TT Combat stuff from there. God above. This one here needs to learn how to speak. Yeah, and like I said, 10% off. And I mean, the thing I like about TT Combat is if you buy offline, off their internet, oh, he's having a nightmare, guys. Save me. If you buy from their website, it's free. It's free postage, which I like about TT Combat. But if you buy from Firestorm, not only is it free postage because you go into the shop and buy it there, but it's 10% off, which is kind of cool. So if you're in store, it's the kind of place to, oh bugger it, it's the kind of place to pick something up like that. There we go. You played there once and it was great fun. Yeah, it is. It's really nice. Lots of tables. It used to be one of those big industrial furniture warehouses, and that's why there's all the room for the tables. What is my favourite piece of 30k or 40k weaponry? Jeez, start me off with an easy one. I see Frost and Fists. To be honest, probably going to go something quite plain Jane. I'm going to go with the Chain Fist. I think the idea of a Power Fist combined with a chainsaw is kind of freaking awesome. I can just imagine sort of throwing that around, you know, like as a demolition crew kind of thing. I would like to see more units be able to take Chain Fists. I would give them to everything if I could, because I like the destruction they can reap on vehicles and on the commoners as well, on just the mere mortals. So if I think a cool kind of two-handed Chain Fist kind of thing you could see would be cool. If it's like a guardsman or something like that, I don't know, maybe. Hello, Underdog Painting. Jumping in here for the last couple of bits of the chat while we maybe I should use this as a thing. But yeah, I'd say the Chain Fist, and then probably the Needle Pistol. I like the Needle Pistol, that's pretty cool as well. And the Humble Power Sword. I mean, the humble power sword. It can't go wrong with one of those. But yeah, number one, chain fist, because explosions. I am a child at heart. I'm barely a man anyway. Oh, you won your fight for charity. That's fantastic to hear. That is what we like to hear. What about you, Frost and Fist? What's your favourite piece of weaponry from 30 and or 40k? I would be interested to hear. I'm sure it'll be something like a wolf claw. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Space Wolf related, at the very least. I have heard on the street that you quite like Space Wolves. Oh, fantastic! You raised 3k for your fight. That's good going. That is what we like to hear. Claws? Yeah, claws. Classic. A classic indeed. Oh man, this needs a little more love and attention. Oh. I'll tell you what I do like about this setup. I mean, I've had a lovely word from Kablams actually, who kind of inspired me to include the chat from what we used to do back in the day with the Legion Live and that. But what I really like about it is it's real time, so you can see when I'm seeing the messages you post, so you can see the delay that there is. Because when you put up a message, it comes up immediately on my computer. But because there is about a 5 to 10 second delay, you can see that there is that, which is quite handy because it means you'll understand if I'm a bit slow. Okay, that's all that done. We've got everything prepared there. So if there are any last questions, feel free to pop them below, as I will be, oh Christ, heading off in the next couple of minutes. Probably to get something to eat. I'm pretty hungry. I had lunch, but I'm a student, so I'm allowed to say I'm hungry twice in a day? I don't know. I'm just a fan of my food. Can't even mask that one in studentry. Anything I've missed in the chat? Yeah. Good old Frost and Fist with the you got it there with the frost claws. I thought it might have been. I think they're pretty cool. I'd like to see some +1 strength lightning claws myself, obviously. But that's obviously something that's special for your codex, and rightly so. Rightly so. I tell you what I do like. I do like the Hellfrost thing with the toughness tests. I think that's kind of a cool mechanic, and I'd like to see. I'm interested to see how that will translate into 8th Ed. With I don't know if we'll see a toughness in the same way. So awesome models, my man. Thank you very much. I'm trying to rescue a couple of these that have not gone too well because of the bloody using water, which is cool. The Medicus, yeah, he's kind of alright at the end. It was just a spare model that Harry had kicking around, and he didn't really know what to do with it, so I just put him together as a Primus Medicae because I needed one in order to give Feel No Pain to Lorgar and his Gal Vorback, and you know. Hello, welfare. Isn't it like midnight where I am? It's actually 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Would you believe it? I know. So, just as a bit of a background, welfare is he's making a video game. Do you know what? I had it recorded as well. You'll never believe this. I had a shout out video recorded for welfare, and I was like, you know, he's only on 156 subs, and let's give him some love and go and support him on Patreon for this amazing game he's starting to develop himself. And then I kid you not, 2 days later, he's at 2,600 subs. And the video where I said he had only 156 has had to been panned, and I'm going to have to maybe re-record that or something. But I'm not even joking, it was due to go out on Friday, saying you guys should show him some love. And then out of nowhere, 2,600 subs. So congrats on that, by the way, welfare. Big fan of what he does. If you haven't checked him out, go and do it. He's making a Mega Man X styled game, which looks super awesome. And it's got some really cool sort of dog-like characters. And I'm a huge fan of, I think it's Ruster. I think he's super cool. And I, for one, as a Patreon backer, I'm really looking forward to the next couple of years as we see the game develop. Oh, that's really cool. My brother did a shout out on the weekend as well. Yes, I know. I I will definitely get it out this probably next week. I was very surprised. I was like, oh yeah, let's see how he's doing, and it's like, oh my god, 2,600. But that's super cool. And I recently watched the interview you did last summer on Carbot's channel, where it was talking about coming up with is it StarCrafts or something like that, and it was the little series, and I thought that was so cool that it's you and your two brothers and one of your brothers' other halves basically running a business, and I think that was super cool. I found it very inspiring, and I'm hoping to sort of draw from that sort of drive, that sort of motivation to try and improve my stuff as well. Let's see what the time is, see how hungry I'm feeling. I've probably got a few more minutes. Let's see if there's anything I can rescue on the other 4. But yeah, I was very shocked. I'm very pleasantly shocked that it just happened overnight. Well, if there's anything I can do for you in return, let me know. I'll do a shout out in the future. Oh, that's all right. It's more a case of seeing someone who's the thing that I find most inspiring is when someone is living their dream, because we've all got them. We've all got these kind of things we want to achieve. And when I find someone who is willing to really put themselves through the ringer to try and have this dream come alive, I find that very inspiring. So seeing you and your work with your Mega Man inspired game is pretty inspiring in itself, because you are doing what you love and you're trying to make it work, and I think that's pretty cool. And I'm really pleased for you that it's getting that extra leap in recognition. Also, the Bendy and the Ink Machine games, they're really funny because I squeal like a little girl whenever I have a jump scare sort of hit me in the face, and so every time I see sort of Bendy's head poking around the corner, I'm just you should see it. I'm scared. I end up in a little ball of fright. But no, it's definitely, I think it's more a case of doing what you're doing is cool because it's inspiring, I think, other people to do what they want to do, and so keep at it. That's pretty much all I can say on that one. And yeah, same for all the rest of the cool YouTubers I've been watching lately who are on stream as well. That's been Frost and Fist. You've come a long way since the beginning, and it's really nice to see. With the music as well that the Freak's been putting out. I mean, that's cool. It's really cool that he's doing that side of it as well. So some very inspiring people here on YouTube. It's nice to know that the internet is not all bad. So just applying another coat of Decal Fix just around the edges because it needs it, if I'm brutally honest with you. This stuff is not holding up as well as I'd love it to. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Your brother did a Let's Play of Bendy as well. Yeah, I mean, that was bloody frightening, if I'm honest with you, that game. I don't think I could play it because I'd just be like, nope, 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 nope. How long does it take me to do a single figure? Well, that is sort of dependent on how much effort I'm willing to put in. I can grab you a miniature that took me about a minute to paint. Let's see if I can... So this is a Tyranid Warrior. You'll notice, as I know you've played StarCraft, I think it's fair to say the Tyranids are somewhat Zerg inspired, I believe, or vice versa. Let's see if I can get this to focus. As again, I'm just temporarily blocking some of the chat off just so I can actually get this thing to focus in. So this is my alien inspired Tyranid. He's black with a dry brush and stuff like that. And you can sort of just see with all that. So I painted him up because I watched the film Alien for the first time about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And I thought it was great, to be honest with you. But this only took me a minute to do. And it actually took a tiny bit longer because I recorded the process. But the model I did before this took about a minute. And obviously that's the one you can see I've already done. And I have a similar one that took me 2 minutes, which is going up this weekend. But some take significantly more time. So let's just drop out one of the... well, I've got them up here actually. So we've got this word bearer here. This fella, this kind of red and black chap, he definitely took a bit longer. So the whole unit took me about an hour and a bit. So, you know, it's, yeah, that took a little bit longer. But like I said, it very much varies on what I'm trying to achieve. The quick paints take no time at all. The long paints take maybe a little too long. I'm kind of in between. A unit will take me about an hour and a half. I painted up the entire Fellowship from Lord of the Rings in about 2 hours, which was really fun, actually, painting up the Fellowship. I really enjoyed that. Again, I was inspired by... I only got around to watching Lord of the Rings for the first time 6-7 months ago, and I was so inspired by it, I just wanted to paint the models for it. So I bought them, and yeah, I got them done in about 2 hours for a game called Frostgrave, and I think that was so much fun. But yeah, a standard dude will take me anywhere between an hour if I'm really trying to focus, and a minute if I'm really trying to get them done. But of course, thanks for the questions. Do I have flat paintings like on canvas, or do I only paint units? Ironically, I am scarily unskilled at painting on a canvas. I've tried a few times, and the best thing I can do is sort of a stick man. Sometimes I'll push the boat out and give a stick woman a go, but no, really my drawing leaves a lot to be desired. My sister, on the other hand, is sort of an artist in her own self, and funnily enough, Welfare, I think you'll find this quite interesting given your background, but she recently has started looking at a future in animation for games, and she is really excited about potentially doing a formal degree qualification in game animation. So there you go. And in fact, I did say, ironically, I back a chap on Patreon who does that for his YouTube. So there you go. Small world we live in. But yeah, she loves it. She loves drawing. Okay, a stick woman is one less stick than a stick man. That was quite clever. But you see, you've got to draw circles with a stick woman, and that's much more difficult. You're right, yes. I think it's because we rely on textures and sculpts for our work of painting. Yes, most certainly. It's easier painting on a 3D surface than it is painting something 3D on a 2D surface. In fact, if I'm brutally honest, drawing anything 3D, I struggle with. And yet, freehand painting again. I have done a little freehand work on a couple of models, and that is where you can see sort of my lack of talent really coming in. In fact, I've got one in this box here, and as this is now becoming an hour-long live stream, I'll have to change the title. I will just crack it out from this magic box of tricks, and definitely not just models. See if I can find the nice one I've done. It's the one right at the back. Okay, that is the extent of my freehand capabilities. You can see I have drawn there the Serrated Sun logo from one of the chapters in the Word Bearers, and I've done a bit of freehand, but that is it. That is about as talented as I get without the use of textures, and much like on the lid here, we have some scripture. Again, nothing creative, nothing fantastic, but it'll do, and I'll just leave that there because everyone loves a tank. Yeah, so I'll probably start to wrap things up. If there are any last questions, feel free to pop them in. I'll see. Hopefully, I can read them quick enough. It is about a 10-13 second delay, so I'm not in any hurry. At this point, I might as well just wait for dinner. So, having a general chit chat. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will change the direction of this stream in one foul swoop. And what we'll see here is something a little different. If I can just move it into position. Awesome. Oh, thank you very much. And this is going to honestly be the most smooth transition of all time. You won't even notice that I've been sort of messing around with my camera, trying to organize this, and then adding in Shazam. There we go. Keep it up, never stop stopping. That's cool. It kind of sounds like it belongs in a movie. I don't know if you're maybe inspiration level of Al Pacino right there, sort of with his Any Given Sunday speech. I don't know if anyone has watched that. It's kind of awesome. Let's see if we can actually get this to focus on me and provide the better lighting. All of this is done on the fly, incidentally, so you'll have to have my sincerest apologies if it takes me a second. Whoa, too bright, not bright enough. There we go, and you get a sneak preview of my new haircut. That's right. It's much shorter than it was before. Oops, daisy. Let's not cancel that. As I've sort of run out of stuff to paint, I get to now very laissez-faire, very on the fly. But there you go. This is my room at home, incidentally, with a giant 6'4" table that's been folded down behind me. A cool little Games Workshop calendar that I got for Christmas, and a bunch of crap on my desk. But I suppose I'd like to say thanks for watching. The fresh cut, love it. Looks good. Thank you. Yeah, it's much shorter, and it's I prefer it. Oh wow, dropping the word dank in a stream. I don't know if that's okay. No, it's fine, honestly. If I look handsome, then oh well, I'll take it. Thank you very much. Not something I hear all the time. Also, you'll notice my teeth have been done. No, you might not have noticed actually. But I was really pleased with the dentist work today, so got me smiling when I left, which is unusual because normally I'm sort of half swollen on one side of my mouth and there's a bit of drool, and I'm numb in the face. So it was a much better dentist trip than usual. That took a turn. All right, well, I want to say thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know the drill. Leave those comments below, and last little chance, if you could just go check out Welfare. He really is a really nice guy. You can see it when you watch his videos, and check out his Patreon as well, because he's doing some absolutely awesome work for his game inspired by Mega Man. It's this lovely side scroller with cool, awesome characters, and I'm sure that if you gave it a look, you'd be as interested in it as I was, and you might even part with a little bit of dollar, as they say, over the other side of the water. So thanks everyone so much for watching, guys. It's been me, Callum from Tabletop Banter. Don't forget, have fun.